What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with Black Mellow, okay? And him and his rookie locks, okay? We're going to be talking about KS. He's seen some of the comments, that was said about him. But, let me remind people of what took place, okay? We had a conversation well over a year ago. What are your thoughts on Kev Black? Do you think he's, productive, or do you think that he's harmful? What say you?
I don't disagree with his tactic. There's an element of condescendingness to his tone when he's talking to women.
Mm-hmm.
Element of rivalry almost.
This is when KS was hot. This is when Kevinsamuels was hot. Okay. And we decided to talk about him then before he passed. Okay. PASSED. Okay. But since that moment, some of his views changed and some have not changed about Kevinsamuels. So I thought it'd be good to give Black a perspective. And let's be clear about something, okay? This ain't no PR campaign. He don't care about what y'all think about his views. He's a grown man. He's going to think what he's going to think regardless. If you would like to come on the show and talk about it, hit me in the email, blackmanrankings@gmail.com, and kind of talk to him. You could talk to him, you could talk to me one-on-one, or in the group about the subject and how and your viewpoints on things, not even just Kevinsamuels, but about anything. This is the Black Man Rankings, okay? This is not just about us. This is for all men, okay? Not even just Black men, but this is for all men. If you want to come on the show, express how you feel, you want to talk about a certain topic, we welcome all people. Hit us, blackmanrankings@gmail.com, and let's talk it over, okay? Because this platform is, so to speak. So hit me in the email.
Let me interrupt you.
Go ahead.
1 second. You went out. Your picture.
Yeah, I seen my camera went out. I seen my camera froze. Having a little technical difficulties. I got a lot of stuff going on in the background of my computer. But all that being said, hit us up, blackmanrankings@gmail.com. The platform is for all of us. It's not just for, the people on the channel. It's for the whole community. And you could talk about whatever you want to talk about. This topic today, we're going to be talking about Kevinsamuels and if our viewpoints on him changed at all or not, okay? So with that being said, I would like to ask Black, okay? I know when you first watched Kevinsamuels, right? You've seen a lot of stuff that you felt was bullying and derogatory. These are the words that you used in the video. You said he was derogatory and he was a bully to the women, right? How, if at any, did your viewpoints on him change? And if so, explain how that took place.
Well, initially, I didn't watch his videos.
Oh,
I saw snippets, and I saw clippets. I saw clickbait dialogues between him and the women that was on the show.
You did what a lot of women did in the beginning, is just watch some of his clips and came to a judgment.
A lot of men and
a lot of men and women. Yeah,
just saw that. Now,
go ahead.
Initially, that's how I perceived him. I perceived him for his rebuttals, for his answers. and I disagreed with what I was seeing. And then later, this is long before he passed. Later, while he was alive, I started watching his videos a little bit, because my thing is this: I don't have to agree with something in order to look further into it and investigate on what's going on with it. I want a full understanding. So let's say if I was a Republican, right? If I wanted to know the Democratic perspective, I would look into Democrats and their way of thinking, their philosophies, their beliefs, their understandings on why they think the way they do, right? And vice versa. So with that being said, I look more into them with the perspective already in my mind. I was muting that perspective, that preconceived notion I had. I was putting that on mute so I can give it an honest take. Let me just let him speak for himself and watch an actual show. So I watched one, and from start to beginning, I was like, okay, so I'm starting to see how he does have some valid points in some instances. I mean, it's not a monolith. It's not across the board. In some of the shows that I was watching, there was sort of a slant to where he was leaning towards chipping away at something. It was like a chipping away of maybe an inflated self-esteem or an inflated ego or some type of persona that, these women was bringing to the show, right? They was bringing that to the show, holding themselves to whatever standard that they was holding themselves to. And it seemed to me like his job was to chip away at that and strip them down so that they're more humbled. It seemed like that was his approach. Now, everybody is different. Ain't nobody the same. So I'm just looking at it like, okay, so I could see how they would have clipped that part right there and they would have clickbaited that when the whole totality of his message for that one show was not isolated to just that one sort of aggressive rebuttal. So I'm like, oh, okay. I see how it led up. It escalated based off questioning and answers. It escalated to this point, and then this was his response. So I could see how that came to fruition. So I'm like, okay. So I was judging him based off just the, 15-second clip. When the whole totality of the show, that wasn't necessarily where he was going. He was asking the questions and they were answering. Depending on their answer, it kind of went wherever it went,
Let me ask you this. If at all you disagree with Kevinsamuels, what is it that you still disagree with him on to this day?
Well, to this day, I still don't believe it's a man's place to really put a value on another man and then simultaneously disqualify a woman, as to say, you don't measure up to that high value man.
Well, you got to understand though, Black. You got to understand that when he's talking high value man, these are men that are highly valued by women. He's not he didn't come up with the term high value man. Okay. He said he got that term has already existed. He did not come up with that term. So, you're saying he's putting value on men. He's not putting value on men. He just recognized that a 10% or so group of men are highly valued by women. And that's not even the term that he came up with. You see what I'm saying? So you saying he's giving men value. No, he's not. As a matter of fact, he spent 3 years telling men that they need to raise their game up. They need to be better men. They need to not expect so much from women. They need to try to become high value men. He got other terms called Henry. High earner, not rich yet. Right? That's a acronym for Henry. He got some other acronyms out there, but what I'm saying is he's not putting men on a pedestal or pedestalizing men, but there are a certain group of men, a 10% group of men that are considered high value due to societal standards. Okay. Now let me also mention this. At no point in your life or my life have we recognized men being valued and pedestalized in the West, in this country. From the time we were born, we were always viewed as utilities to be used and spit out and thrown away after our usage is done. Kevin didn't pedestalize men, but if there is a time to be pedestalized, it's our turn. We never got it. Women have always been pedestalized in society in a lot of ways, and still are to this day.
What do you mean by pedestalized? Define that.
Considered the prize, considered the catch, considered the higher value. Okay, never like we grew up watching shows, Oprah, Sally Jesse. Now we got Jada Pinkett and the Red Table Talk. A lot of stuff is not geared towards men. As little to none is geared towards men. So there has been a bit of a bubbling in society for men to have a platform to speak out how they feel. And it took, the internet, social media for this to happen, because it's not going to happen in mainstream. And the reason it's not happening in mainstream is because there is a monetary reward for people being separated and the pedestalization of women. Women drive capitalism. So there's nothing that corporations are going to do to interrupt that process, because they're making so much money off of women. Okay. But the point is, with the corporations protecting their best interest, which is women, you won't see a lot of that stuff in mainstream. It took the internet and social media for men to finally have a platform where they can speak their mind without the worries of industry and commerce and all this other stuff. So I would argue that Kevinsamuels was not only much needed, but overdue, because he's still getting subscribers, and he's been gone for close to a year. Okay. He's still getting subscribers. His channel is still growing. Yeah. Like last I checked, it was like 1.6 million.
I don't think men need to be pedestalized.
Why not? Why not? Let's start there. Why not?
Right. So,
and when have they in your life?
Well, This is the perspective I'm speaking from. Pedestalized for what exactly? Especially with the decay of
For
perceived.
building the world, building
Okay.
the nation, building society to what it is, to allow for women to, because let me tell you this, Black, being um what some would consider a feminist or anything like that is a luxury that women have. This is how you know you're a first world country and you're very rich, is when the women can have the men build practically all of the infrastructure and they still claim that they're better than men. Okay? The reason why men deserve to be pedestalized is because they built everything. Feminism is a luxury. And let's be clear, it only exists because men allow it to exist. Okay? Feminism only exists because men allow it to exist. If men don't want feminism to be around, they can control that very easily. An
Okay.
example of that is Roe versus Wade, right? Where women claim to have rights. Well, you know what? Guess what? We're going to take that right away from you because it's destroying society right now. At least that's what their claim is. It's not necessarily mine, but that's what their claim is. It's destroying society. Humanity is not growing. We allowed y'all to be feminists with this, that, and the third, but once we see it's getting overboard, we're going to take that right away from you.
Okay. So with all that being said, I get the perspective. Man built everything. Um, you got to understand something too, man. And I'm not, I'm not in total disagreement with that statement. That's first off. I'm not in total disagreement with that. But all I'm saying is this: I'm looking for balance. I'm trying to find a silver lining. I'm looking for balance in the entire equation, the big picture of humanity. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm taking race out of it right now. I'm talking about humanity as a whole, as I see it. Now, more in particularly with our people, with our bloodline, the copper tone, bronze complected people. I will say we've never in this country been pedestalized except for when we're entertaining somebody, when we're entertaining people, or we're buffooning ourselves, or when we're doing something, counterproductive to our lineage and our heritage and our bloodline and what we came from initially when we was a whole congruent people and we knew we were a congruent people up until the point where we lost our identity. We were never pedestalized. We had order when we were in our natural state of mind as a people, as a whole. But when that was fragmented and disrupted, and several hundred years ago, we all understand the story. Once there became a fragment of our who we are, the pedestalization or the order is what I want to call it, because that's what it was. We all knew our place. We had an order. Men did men stuff, women did women stuff. And it was clear, it was concise. There was no usurping of authority when we was in our right state of mind. Back then, hundreds of years ago, as the bronze copper tone people, that's what I'm speaking for right now. But something happened to take us off of that order and put us on a new order. So the new order is the new standard, the new order of the day. So the new order is diminish the leadership from the bronze copper tone people, belittle that man, and raise up the feminine energy simultaneously, which is where you get the term strong, quote unquote, Black woman, right? We don't hear strong Asian, strong, even Hispanic. We don't hear strong no other woman. Indian, Hindu. We don't hear these terms because they still, to some degree, have their understanding or order of who they are to some degree as a congruent people, as a
Are
body
you saying
politic.
black women don't understand their role as the helpmeet right
Well,
now?
what I'm saying
More than
is,
other cultures?
check this. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we lost our way, not
Well, I'm talking about women specifically. Don't go to we. Go
well,
to the women specifically.
well, it has to be they
Well,
have they
what I'm
don't
asking is, did the women? Are you saying the women lost their way as far as being to help me, and all more so than all other cultures? Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna put it like this. We lost our statue.
You talking about men, black?
Hold on, let
I'm
me
asking you
explain it
about the
first.
women.
Let me run it down and you'll get the answer. You'll get the answer.
But
Listen to what I'm
just
saying.
stick with the question though. It's to
Because
women, not men.
listen, your questioning is loaded because it just isolates and points the finger. And this is part of the reason I had the initial perspective of Kevinsamuels from the jump because of those snippet 15-second isolated questions directed directly at women. What I'm trying to tell you is the bigger picture. He's dealing with the effects of something that I'm talking about now. I'm telling you the bigger picture. He's dealing with just the effects. This is the Band-Aid approach. It's a Band-Aid to a bullet wound. And I'm telling you what the bullet wound is. It ain't gonna never be healed by a grown man telling a woman she don't measure up to some code or standard that is perceived as high value. We have to be back in order, is
I
what I'm
get what
saying,
you're
as a
saying, man.
whole. It ain't just the women.
I get that, but let's just stick to the basic. I just asked the question. Are you saying that the black women are more off code than other cultured women?
Listen, this is my answer. By default, not because of their own fault, but by default, yes, they're off code. Heck yeah. Absolutely, they're off code.
Okay,
100%.
and that's what he was
By
addressing.
default.
Yes, by default. But
because where does the fault lie?
You could point to many different things. You could point
name
to
them.
you can point to slavery. You could point to the government oppressing the men. You could point to the men not wanting to step up. You could point
that's
to
3 out of 4 things that right there sums all the woes up right there, which is cause and effect. Those were the causes, and what is the effect? Women out of order.
Let me ask you this.
They are. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you this: can women fix men?
I think women have the ability to see from an outside perspective if they get to know you well enough. They are in a unique ability to influence you if they are worth their salt. If the woman is worth her salt, if the woman is in order, if she's guided spiritually, in my perspective, because everybody don't believe in that, but if she's spiritually guided with the right morals and codes of conduct based off a higher principle from the divine order, not man's order, then she can properly guide. She can not guide, but she can properly influence based off the divine order. She can influence.
Well, let me say this: women can't fix the men.
Yeah, let's say
it's up to. Well, that was my question. Can the women fix the men?
No.
Yes, that was my question.
No, it's up to a man to decide what order what code he's gonna stand on, and if he has no code, all the good advice in the world don't amount to nothing from nobody.
Right. So, the flip side of that question is, can men fix the women?
Can't nobody fix nobody else.
Or is it up to the women to fix whatever issues that they have?
No. Listen, it ain't this is me. It's my perspective. It ain't up to no individual person who's flawed to fix nobody else. You can't fix nobody else if you broke. How you gonna give me $1 if you in the negative?
Right. So it's up to them to fix themselves. It's up to the men to fix
Well,
ourselves.
initially, it starts where though? This is my whole thing. It starts with who first?
Like I told you before, man.
Come on, answer the question, bro.
I'm gonna answer the question, but I'm gonna answer it like this, because this is my philosophy, and this is just how I think about things. I told you a while ago in another recording. I don't blame the people for nothing. I don't blame black women or just women, period, for nothing. Okay, I don't blame the men for nothing. I always, blame the government. I always blame the government for how society moves. Always. So this is not even me bashing women or black women or black men. It's always a governmental thing. As long as corporations are making laws to favor women and to pay them to divorce and to pay them to stay single, it's going to stay the way that it is, because people are going to always do what benefits them. People are selfish, man. People are very selfish.
Okay, so I can see that perspective, but the government only goes so far in my eyes.
No.
Yes, listen, hear what I'm saying. Yes, the government was hands-on with the dismantling of a people that that we have, the Negro, the word Negro, the Negro man, as identified as today as a black man, a colored, or African American, or whatever you want to name it, that is American made. That's made. They got a stamp that says "Made in America" on it, because that don't exist nowhere else. Especially don't exist nowhere on the continent of Africa. Ain't no Africans Americans over there in Africa. They come from whatever indigenous country that they identify with, and their lineage and heritage comes from. So when we came over here, we was miscategorized as a completely made up entity of people, which is why our body politic don't get nowhere in Congress and the Senate. That's why we don't have justice, because we're not recognized as a legitimate indigenous people to this earth, the continent, or the planet. We're made in America. We have lost our complete minds. We lost our identity. We don't know who we are. So we can't fight for nothing with substance, because we're not recognized in the UN. There's nobody in the UN right now that recognizes an African American. Nobody's sitting in that seat called African American, because it don't exist in real life. So what I'm gonna say is this: government, yes, they know what they did. They know that we went with the brainwashing of that term and title, African American, and they know it don't hold no weight in the real body politic of the international commerce and so on and so forth. But they're gonna let us keep playing ourselves out of position and protesting or whatever. But what I'm saying is this: my perspective is this. It's way more advanced than that. This came about, we lost our identities as men first, and then of course you take the head off, the body's gonna what? Fall.
I know, but it's funny how you don't mind. It's funny how you don't mind blaming the men, man, but you don't never hold the women accountable, man.
Listen, I can't hold the women accountable until I hold men accountable first.
Men have always been held accountable. Black men have always been held. Yeah, but not exclusively. We supposed to be, but not exclusively.
Dude, listen, women will, man, we got to the point where in the 60s, let me ask you, musically, in the 60s, how many households was ran by men?
In the 60s?
Give me a percentage.
In the 60s, I probably would say black men probably about 60%.
Okay,
maybe even 70.
Now I'll go with that. Today,
Today,
by men.
I would give you about 20% right now.
Now, in the 60s, were we more unified? Was the women
I give you
dressing?
about 25%.
Was the women dressing and twerking and you know completely out of order in the 60s, or did they wear more modest apparel? You know, they had dignity. Did they have dignity back then? Did they
Um,
like?
yeah, they had that because they had some cultural backings. But let me tell you something. What happened? The laws have gotten worse since then. The laws have favored ratchetness since then. Okay, if corporations know they can make money off of ratchetness, they're going to not only allow it but promote it. You ever wonder what happened to conscious rap? A lot of it is gone, but guess what you get to see in abundance is buffoonery and thuggishness and
Yeah, 100%.
kill, this whatever.
And my point is
And that
this.
is allowed. That is
Yes,
allowed. And
and
that's
this is my
allowed
point.
on purpose.
Yes.
It is
Now,
allowed on
listen.
purpose to because I'm gonna tell you there has been, and I know you've seen this video. There has been what not one of the guys from Bone Thug. He said that there's corporations trying to build jails, and they need to push this music out so that they can have full residency in prisons.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. There is an absolute. It was 1993. They had that secret meeting,
it's an agenda.
and yeah, it was absolutely disclosures and all that. They couldn't really discuss it back then. But that's when gangster rap started really, really going crazy. They started funding gangster rap, so-called gangster rap. Wasn't no such thing as gangster rap before, before that. Or in the 80s, late 80s. But in the 93, they started actually funding it because they knew it would create a prison population that they could then, imprison and then, catch, millions of dollars for. But my point is this with the music, my point is this. Yes, we had a standard or a code, a threshold in the 50s and the 60s to where we understood we have to stick together. We cannot be fragmented, even though we went through everything we went through, slavery, Jim Crow, redline, and this, that, and the third. We don't have the luxury of doing all that. We don't have the luxury of being fragmented to the point. So we got to stick together. This is what the movements was about. The civil rights, the Black Panthers, you name it. Like that's what that was about. Us coming together, standing on code, strapping up, taking arms, protecting our neighborhoods, right? Now, once to your point and mine, the government did institute these weapons against us to fragment us and take the minds of the men to dismantle our communities. Yes, absolutely. Now, boom. Okay, the men are out of the way. Now we can put pants on the women and we can empower the women, right? And then the feminist movement simultaneously bubbles up, right? And then you get this woman empowerment. If he can do it, yes, I can do it. All that stuff.
All right,
Yes.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because I want us to stick on Kevin
I ain't
Samuels.
finished making that point, but go ahead.
But yeah, let's stick on Kevin Samuels. What is it that you now agree with Kevin on? Okay.
Well, I
Like
agree
that you didn't see before, but now you say, you know what, he's right on point with this. What is that?
Okay. Well, I said it earlier. I do see how some of the women, because what I didn't know is prior to ever actually muting my biases or my prejudice against what I thought I was seeing, I said, no, let me give him a chance. Let me see what he's talking about. Let me see. Let me get my honest, So honestly, I looked and I saw that, okay, I didn't know the women reached out to him, to get whatever his perspective was. I'm thinking there's random women who are looking for men, or they feel like, well, I think because I am this and that and the third, how come I can't find a good man? And I'm thinking he's just pointing out all their flaws. Well, you ain't, how much you weigh? Because I heard him ask several dozen women how much they weigh, real personal questions. How much money you make? As if a woman ain't got to make a whole bunch of money to a real man. You ain't the breadwinner. So I don't care how much money you make, because that's just gonna go more and play into your self-empowerment position. I don't need that, right? So, he kept asking how much money you make, how much you weigh, you got to, personal stuff. And they just being honest, well, this, that, and he was real antagonistic. Hey, be quiet. You're not going to talk like that. It was like, hold on, bro. But like I said, I didn't know these women was reaching out to him, knowing he going to be brutally honest with them. He was just being brutally honest with them. I didn't know that they was reaching out to him, knowing his platform, knowing his background of consulting and image and all of that, and industry, and he had some previous experience, and he was bringing that to this platform, and he was just giving him his brutal honesty, and they signed up for it. So I can't be completely mad. You knew what you were signing up for. So I get that now. I still don't agree with the whole totality of how he addressed and dealt with some of these women. But hey man, let's give or take.
Is there any policies that Kevin Samuel, or philosophies that Kevin had, that you agree with now that you didn't before?
I can't speak to that right now. That I can't say that I've totally,
let me ask you this: do you believe in a high value man?
I don't know that I believe in that concept, high value man. I don't
Why
know
not?
if I believe that concept.
It
kind of seems oxymoronic to me, man. It's like,
how is
how are you?
A man can't be high value?
No, hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. There's no value, because from what I've seen, the men that I believe he's talking about, and I believe the platform is talking about, is always attached to a dollar amount.
Let me throw this at you, Black.
I disagree with a dollar amount.
Okay.
Being your value.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. Men's value is based on dollars. Women's value is based on beauty. Period. It is what it is. Women have value through their beauty. Men have value through their resources. If women can have value and through their beauty, why can't men have value through their resources?
Okay. I mean, I see your perspective.
Yeah.
It's just not mine.
No. Well, you make it sound as if a man cannot have a high value.
No,
women can with their looks. And there's a lot of women on the internet making money based off of looks alone. They don't have no talent, no skills, and nothing. They just show pictures.
No skills, no talent, but they high value
and
women.
They better off not even. Some of them not even opening their mouth because they don't add nothing of value with what they say.
One woman made millions of dollars, $50,000 for Putin in a jar. So I mean, I guess she's a high value woman based off.
But my point is,
Putin in a jar.
The value of women is easy to see. Okay, they have it through their beauty.
But this
is why the cosmetics beauty line and all of these, the fashion and all of this are $1 billion industries.
I get that.
Because women have value through their beauty. So
I
why can't
understand.
men have value through their money and their
I don't.
resources?
I just my system, my body of understanding of what value is different from what I
What
would say, the universal understanding of today is.
what
To
makes
me,
you
value.
tell me what makes a woman and makes a man
Okay.
valuable? Start
So
with the woman.
so okay. Women, their value is their ability to nurture, their ability to comfort, their ability to wisely counsel, to de-escalate a circumstance, to to properly provide nutrients for the family, to properly teach younger women and children with giving proper goals, proper self-esteem, proper love, so that that child is balanced and rational in their thinking and lacking nothing as far as their emotions are concerned, to be meek and modest when out in public, to be a well representative of the man that she's attached to not bring any shame on that man, to not bring any shame on herself, to not bring any shame on her children. To me, those things, coupled with a lot of other ones, those are spiritual things. I know your listeners, I don't know where they at, but just to keep it plain, though, that provides value. That's valuable, especially today. That's valuable with what I see out here. But for men, our roles, to me, is to be decision makers. We are absolutely, we have fallen off in that stance as decision makers. Our decisions are being made for us based off pressures from outer cultures, based off policies that have been deployed and funded to popularize a subculture that we are now pressured to subscribe to. The thug culture, the negative, the gangsters, all of the street dudes outside, all this stuff, and it being so socially acceptable these days that is promoted, that even if you ain't doing it, you some type of square, you some type of chump, you're less than a man now, less than a man. And the women are fully saying, oh, okay, well, that's what we doing. Okay, cool. Because nobody was calling our women a bitch like they do today. In the 60s, in the 50s, you wasn't doing that. Who was doing that? Actually, our enemies was doing that. And they fully taught us that this is how you treat that type of woman.
All
So
right,
that
Black,
type of woman needs to be treated like this.
Black,
And
Black,
we picked that up. We lost
Black.
our minds, and we
Okay,
lost
so
our
so let me get
cultures
this.
and
So let
our
me get this
order
straight. So let me get this
simultaneously.
straight. Let me get this straight. Women, their value is based on their nurturing, which they never dropped the ball on, according to you.
I ain't say that.
Have they dropped the ball on the nurturing and the caring?
Man,
And
first question that you asked me was about them. Have
I'm
they
trying to
dropped the
get you to
ball?
hold some women
I
accountable
said
for something,
yes.
man.
I already said yes, they out of order
Okay,
by
because
default. I
okay,
said
so
that.
yeah, you said that by default, but you don't place you're shifting the blame. You're saying by
Man,
default.
dude,
You're not placing the blame within the women. Okay,
because it's not
it's they're
their
lacking, but
initial
it's not
fault.
their fault because of this. Like
Dude,
I get it because like I told you, I blame the government for everything, but at the same time, it's just funny how you don't ever directly hold the women accountable. The men, you don't have no problem.
I'm going to tell
We
you why.
dropped
Let me
the
give you an
ball. We
exact
dropped the
analogy.
ball on decision making. So
Let me give you an analogy of what I'm talking about.
go ahead.
Just a picturesque analogy. If a man and a woman is in a car, the man is driving and the woman is in the passenger seat. if they go somewhere where it's flowers, is good heart, like harmonious music being played, good fragrance in the air, and they can sit down and have a cookout or whatever, and it's chill, everything is cool. All right, they made it to whatever destination they made it to, you know, and the woman will turn and look at the man and say, "Thank you for taking me here. Thank you for bringing me here." But if the man is driving again, and the man is drinking while he's driving, and then he flicking off everybody, even the cops, and then he crashed into several other cars, and the woman is in the passenger seat, and then he end up crashing, and they both end up in the hospital, and then she look over from her gurney at him, and he look over at her, and she started yelling at dude, acting all indignant and all out of order, and then blaming him like, "Hey man, what's up with you? Why you do all, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with you?" Is it her fault for how she's acting, for how out of order she is? The bottom, I'm gonna sum it up. My point is this: we're in the driver's seat, man. It's our responsibility. We are to respond to whatever our environment is. That also brings value to a man. Responding to circumstances to make whatever is bad for our family, turn it around for the good and benefit for our children. We don't do that. We selfish today. We thinking about just us. What about your kids? Why is the men having kids? I'm talking about 15, 20 kids. Ain't raised none of them. Just out of the house, populating the earth. The kids is like, where's dad? When is he gonna come to visit? Visit? Hold on, bro.
Black.
Now, certain circumstances, hold on, let me clean that up. Certain circumstances, I completely understand. There was just unresolved issues between two people. I get that. But what I'm talking about when people is men constantly just going to clubs just to lay up with women, impregnate them, and boom, and just dip off on the responsibility type mentality. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That's dead.
You killing me, man, because
That's dead.
you just it's amazing how
dead.
you don't have no problem
That's dead.
Holding the men accountable, but you have all kind of problem. Let me ask you,
because I know who's running things. I know it's on us.
No,
if
it's not. It's not.
Listen, if I tell a woman in my music for 30 years you a bitch, she gonna eventually believe she a bitch. If I tell her she a queen, she gonna eventually think she a queen. They go by what we dictate. They look into us for leadership.
No, they don't. Listen, no, man. They don't, because they're not even listening to us, man.
You don't get what's really going on.
They're not listening to us, and nobody can really tell them anything. Hold on, listen. Not Kevinsamuels, not Iyanla Vanzant. Okay, she got snatched off her own because the women ain't listening. The women ain't listening to KS. He got you know the celebration that happened when this man passed, okay, by our community specifically.
That's Band-Aid stuff.
Okay. Yeah. My point is, it's not just about the men. The women have to hold themselves accountable just as the men do. I'm not giving the man a pass. But and yes, we got a lot of stuff we gotta fix. But
I don't blame them.
But that's the problem. Let me say this to you, Black. It's almost as if you're treating women like children. And there's been a saying that's been going around, okay? Women want the responsibilities of a man, but want the accountability of a child.
No, that's a cold saying. That's a cold saying.
That's a cold saying.
That's a cold saying.
Yeah, and that's that's what's going on out there right now, because a lot of times the accountability is not held to women, and it should be, because they're actually the majority of the population. So they have the power in the numbers. They have the power to make these changes among themselves, but a lot of them refuse to listen to good advice, especially Black men. And I'm not saying this is all of them. I see a lot of beautiful sisters waking up to what KS was preaching. I see a lot of beautiful women waking up and starting to listen. So I want to give a shout out to those women because they are very inspirational. However, there is a demographic, and it's may even be the minority at this point. It's a but they got the loudest voices. Okay, they got the loudest voices. They are the ones who are continuing the sisterhood and continuing their competition with their men. Okay, and the messed up part about it is that women tend to follow women. They're very and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but they're very sheepish in how they're thinking. If one thinks one, the whole herd thinks the same thing. It's very cliquish. It's very cliquish with our women, especially. Okay, so it gets to a point where, you know, if one of them say something and they got the loudest voices, they can corrupt the entire herd. Even the good ones, they can corrupt the entire herd. Okay, and that's why feminism has still been going strong to this day, because if one of them, and especially if she's in a pretty powerful position, or if she got, you know, some education, or she owns her own business, she become very masculine in her thinking, and she become feminist. And I think feminism is a masculine trait, actually. I think it's a competitive trait. It's not necessarily.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's not all the way feminine.
It's toxic.
It's toxic, and it's more than anything, it's competitive, because it's saying anything you can do, I can do better. And a lot of them hasn't come to the realization that we are different. We are forever going to be different. You can't move the same way men do. Men are men rake up body count. Women are trying to rake up body count too. That's not your sermon. That's not your thing to do. Okay? Stop trying to be like men. But let me tell you, let me say this to you too, to what you said previous. You said that women, they're the nurturers. This is what you considered, you know, the things that they need to work on. Or no, you said this is what make them high value, right? What makes the women high value is her nurturing. And what makes the man high value is his decision making. Did I get that right?
I mean, there's more to it, but yeah.
But let me tell you something. Those are secondary things. Okay. Opinion? They will never trump a woman's beauty and a man's resources.
You mean tell me that
those are the number one things that determine value in the sexes. Beauty, money. It ain't your nurturing, because I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna even want to nurture with that woman if you're not attracted to her first. Okay? You're not going to even want to settle with a man unless you know he can, and have him make decisions if he ain't even got his money right. Okay?
I guess
we need to there are layers to this value thing. Okay? And there are layers. And what you're talking about is layer 3 stuff.
Okay. So I'll say this. If you're gonna put it, you say it's value 3 because you're looking at present time, right now, real time. You're looking at real time stuff, right?
Yeah.
From your perspective, in real time, right now, that's how people are being valued, by their money and their beauty.
Yes.
Listen, like I said, I'm looking for the silver line. I don't disagree with that statement. I don't disagree with that. This is my perspective.
So then you should be comfortable.
I don't want to lose my perspective.
Go ahead.
I don't want to lose my point. My point, though, is this. What I've been doing throughout this conversation is giving you illustration of what was, right? When we were better off mentally. Our households were more together. We divorced less. We were more congruent as a people. We were solid, more solid when we was more clearer in our right mind, right? But now it deteriorated to the point where it is. And based off where it is, this is what I believe you're doing. You're pointing at where it is and saying what it is from where it is. But what I'm talking about is still up here, is my point. How to get us up here again. So it ain't just what's going on down there. That's the Band-Aid. That's the Band-Aid to the bullet hole. Before the bullet hole is where we got to go. Before the wounds, Malcolm X had a saying that says, if somebody shoot me 8 times, if somebody shoot me 10 times and take 8 bullets out, that don't mean I made progress. You should never even get shot, is the point.
Let me ask you this, Black. Where in the world, on this blue marble we live on called Earth, where you can find a society of women who value a man's decision making over his money and his resources? Yes.
On the entire globe?
On the entire globe.
Oh, money is a concept, man.
No. Give me a place on the planet where women value that over resources.
Well, that's the resource. That's the resource. Your ability to
no.
make a decision.
No. Let's money is resources.
Let me answer the question.
Don't try to redefine what resources is.
No, you can't tell me
money is resources.
Let me answer the question the way I'm
going
to answer it, man.
Go ahead.
The bottom line is this: the man's decision on how to go out and provide, because that's all money is used for. Provisions, resources, right? So a man's decision on how he's going to go out and sharpen his sword or his sticks or whatever he uses to hunt and go out and get killed and bring it back and provide, because that's all women want mostly, is to be provided for, protected, things like that. His decision making, what if he just decide, I ain't gonna go out and hunt, I ain't going out and gathering nothing, I'm not giving you no food, I'm not providing that for you. Well, what's she gonna have to do? She gonna have to figure something out. And see, this is the problem with what the concept is, I believe you speaking from today, is because that's what women are doing today, trying to figure it out, because the man ain't home, and partially because of our total decay of who we supposed to be. And now we're down here and just, I got money. And then you flash and throwing money at a stripper, but you won't give it at somebody going to college. You'll throw a band at a stripper, but you won't give $1 to a sister trying to go to college.
Black. Give me a place.
Listen, man. It's a loser mentality, man.
Just give me a place,
That's some
man.
beta talk, bro.
Give me a place on the earth where women value a man decision making over his money.
Listen, money, like I said, I have to be honest. Money is a concept and a construct.
Give me a place, bro.
If you're talking about providing, I say all indigenous places to this day, all native places, all places where the outside westernized influence of money as a construct is not so pervasive. Everywhere outside of the Western philosophy,
give me a place.
Every
specific place. Give me a specific place.
Everywhere outside of the Western influence. Absolutely. What?
No.
Okay, so we'll just agree to disagree.
Money matters everywhere on this planet, bro.
We'll agree to disagree.
Give me a place on here where a man values a woman's nurturing more than her beauty.
Like I said, everywhere but the westernized influence. Because to us, if you look at what a man in some parts of the deep Congo considers beauty, because they cut their face up. Oh, that's a beauty mark. But to you, oh, that's hideous. Why? Why is it so different? Because of your value system of what you call beauty.
Listen, men will in other countries In other countries, men will pay a higher dowry for a prettier woman.
Yeah, but what they consider pretty,
yes,
is
what they
different
consider
from you.
they will pay more money for the pretty girl.
Okay, the pretty girl might not even physically be pretty, is my point.
It's in the eye of beholder, but let me tell you, it matters. Why are you pretending this stuff don't matter, man?
And what do they consider pretty? Someone who can provide
whatever they would consider pretty is arbitrary, because it varies from culture to culture. But my point is, hold on. But my point is, it varies from culture to culture. But the point is, it's what makes it gives value to women. Is their beauty. Let's not dance around the obvious stuff, man. It gives women their value, and the money gives the man his value.
Okay,
these are priority number one values. They're level one.
I don't want to forget my point. The bottom line, what I'm saying is this, man. Yes, beauty has its place, but if a woman is unfertile, if she's infertile, where she cannot have children, her beauty is vanity, is wasted away, is worthless to that man.
Different story. You moving the goalposts, bro.
I'm exactly.
You moving the goalposts.
Bullseye on the point.
You're moving the that is an exception. That is not the rule.
Offspring is largely, even subtly or subconsciously, men view women. Even when a woman puts on lipstick, the red lipstick is subliminally illustrating something to the subconscious lower vibration of what a man perceives as fertile. Believe it or not, there's a reason women do the stuff they do. It demonstrates that
you're moving the goalpost, Black. So that's a straw man argument, man.
That's scientific, man. Actually, that's scientific.
I'm not saying it's not, but that ain't the point. That ain't what we're talking about.
The point, believe it or not. You believe it or not.
No, man. You're talking about the exception and not the rule. I'm talking about the rule. The rule is beauty matters to women and resources matter to men.
Beauty to women. Okay, boom. Now listen, to men, subconsciously, the reason women doing what they doing, showing a big butt, meaning, okay, boom. Oh, okay, so she ready. She got a flat butt. She more like a kid. I don't want that. She got a big butt. That's a grown woman. She got big breasts. She can nurture my baby. She got big lips. Okay, she ready. Yeah, that's letting me know. That's like a call. That's the pheromones being put in the air. If like, from other species and all that. It's how human women do it. They send you signals and your subconscious is triggered, and that equates to what we call beauty. That's what that equates to.
You know what you sound like?
Her ability to have offspring and be a nurturer with big breasts. She's showing these big breasts for a reason. It was actually a woman, Queen Mother Goddess Ishtarith. Look her up. She was symbolized as a false, I call her a false deity, but she was idolized as the goddess of fertility back in the Babylonian times.
What in the world? Black, you're going all over the map, man.
No, I ain't.
Just stick with me.
Let me land the point.
I mean, well, get to it, man. Get to it.
I'm just saying. Listen.
I'm just saying, because you're going all over the map. You're talking about some goddess. I'm trying to keep it very
history.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, so check this. So the Queen Mother Goddess Ishtarith was actually the mother of your boy, the king of Babylon, right? So the king of Babylon, impregnated his own mother, believe it or not. And they had a child. And nobody knew he impregnated his mother. So his mother, basically, Ashtareth, was pregnant, and all the people of Babylon, had no idea of their relationship. And she became pregnant in front of everybody. And this is the origin story of the Immaculate Conception, by the way. But the point is, she became idolized because of this illicit relationship she had with her own son and impregnated. The women perceived her as to be divinely fertile. Like, oh, she's the goddess of fertility. And even when she died, she was chiseled and made a stone image.
All right. That
as being a woman who had multiple breasts to symbolize her fertility.
okay,
And women
okay,
came and
okay,
prayed to her for
okay, Black. Okay,
fertility.
okay, we got it. Okay, let's get back to Kevin Samuel.
She was the
Okay,
most beautiful woman in Babylon.
all right. We did that. Okay, let's get
Nurture.
back to Kevin Samuels. Okay, what what else do you agree with when it came to KS? Um, that you didn't see in the beginning. Is there anything else?
I mean, outside of the what I've already spoke on, the fact
So
that
really the only thing that has changed is you realize the women were calling him, and you kind of felt less like he was less, I guess, demoralizing, because that's kind of smoke that they asked for themselves. That's the only
well,
thing.
but still, yeah, to some
That's
degree,
the only thing you agree with that he
well, to
said
some
now.
degree, he was justified in his statements, and the context wasn't given in a 15-second clip. So it wasn't give the whole context of the conversation wasn't provided in a 15-second clickbait, which is what I was judging it off initially. But now I'm like, nah, he was kind of well within his rights to respond like he did in that instance. So I'm not gonna take that away from him or throw a bullet at him for that, because yeah, I kind of see why he answered like he answered.
Do
So I'm
you
not gonna
do
beat him
you
up
do
for
you
that.
agree that there are some women that called in? Do you agree that some of them could be considered delusional because
Yeah,
of what they were asking for?
yeah.
Um, uh, give me give me something that you would say. Like, let me ask you this: do you think that women overrated themselves?
I don't have any examples, but I do, some of his, I can't like, meaning I don't know the shows or whatever specifically but it was some
Oh, that's
women
that's fine.
that had like multiple children from several different baby fathers, and they considered themselves, because they had, they was making a little bit of money for themselves, and they was verbally saying, I don't need no man in the show simultaneously. And then he responded to them accordingly. So like I said, to go back with what my understanding is, how much a woman makes is here nor there for me. Like, that don't impress me as far as how I'm gonna view you. I don't view you for your money. You know what I'm saying? I don't view a woman for her money, how much money she can make. Like, I'm not taking your money
Well,
nowhere.
women adjusted their value based on money. They
Yeah,
were
that's very
using the male
masculine.
metric
That's
as
feminism.
to right to measure themselves.
Yeah,
They're using the male metric, which
yeah,
is resources and money,
yeah. And
right?
that ain't their role. That
That's
ain't their
not their
role.
role.
Yeah.
But they were calling. So you agree with Kevin that a lot of the women were delusional.
Well, some women definitely. I don't know about a lot, but some women absolutely was delusional.
Okay.
Some of them was just was you could tell they was what they used to call ratchet. You could tell they was like how they was talking and you pregnant now? Like, yeah, I'm pregnant. You married the man who got you pregnant? No, hold on. So you got other kids? Yeah, I got like 3 other babies with 3 other men. Like, hold on, what? What? You ain't married none of them? No, I ain't married none of them. Are you working? No, I'm not even working right now. What are we talking about? And you still think you deserve something. So
Right.
yeah, in certain instances, absolutely, they are delusional. Like, hold on, you got to get yourself in order first. You got to tighten up.
There's
You got to
there's
hold
one
yourself accountable in certain instances.
there's
Absolutely.
one young lady who called Kevin, and I made a video about it. She's wearing a hair bonnet, and she said she deserves a high value man. And Kevin said, "Why would you wear a hair bonnet on my show when I got all these people watching? And your high value man may be watching the show right now, but you
You got
got
a
a
good
hair
point.
bonnet
You
on."
got a good point.
Yeah, yeah.
21. Why come on to the program with a bonnet on?
Facts.
Well, honestly, I'm comfortable. I could take my bonnet off. I know there's this whole dilemma with the bonnets and things. I don't even, I don't know. I'm comfortable. This is me.
Okay, right. But you want a high value man. And my channel has almost 1 million subscribers and almost over 700, almost 800,000 on Instagram. And it's seen by hundreds of thousands of men, people, 20,000 people in here right now. And you think this is the best look for you for what you want as an outcome?
I mean, I've been sitting here watching your live. I could have sat here and combed my hair down and prepared myself, but this is, yeah, I think this is the best
Okay,
look.
and this is part of the reason why high value men, they care very much about how their women think.
That was a good point.
Yeah. So, but she said, no, this is good. This is my best look. I'm comfortable.
She put her feelings and how she feel above what her total outcome or expected outcome was going to be, basically. So it's like, you're going to accept me just like this. It's kind of self-exaltation versus being modest and submissive. Because submissiveness is something that people don't talk about enough. Being a submissive woman, like, I know it's out of style today. I'm an old-fashioned thinker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that and I get that. So I'll get, friction because of my point of view. But being submissive is more beautiful than somebody physically who know how to wear all their clothes to fit the right form and they got the right makeup and they smell good and this, that, and the third. What people perceive as beautiful, being submissive and non-combative is way more beautiful than all those other things in my eyes.
Right. What do you think about the look standards he used? He would ask women, how tall are they? They dress size, how much they weighed last time they weighed themselves, fresh look out the shower. What would you rank yourself? What did you agree with his rating, his standards, as far his beauty standards, as far as him asking these women these questions to kind of get a clear picture on their overall beauty? Or do you feel like he was just trying to embarrass the women by asking them how much they weigh and trying to degrade them by asking them that? I mean, do you think there was a method to the madness, or do you think that it was just to embarrass them?
It depends on the actual. It depends on the actual show. To be honest, I can't really. You still there?
Yeah.
I can't speak to, that because I didn't see the show. But I will say, asking a woman how much she weighs, is always a tricky thing, right?
Do men care what women weigh for the most part?
I think men do. I think men don't want a woman to weigh too much. You want to. I mean, the more fit a woman is, obviously, the more the more room for attraction is, because she's showing that she's fit for childbirth subconsciously.
So why not be able to ask the women, these questions?
Well, like I said, it's always tricky. It's not about, why not. He did. He asked him. So, he asked him. But it's tricky, right? Because it's always an action and an equal reaction. So when you ask somebody, especially a woman, how much you weigh? Like, I don't care. I'll tell people, how much I weigh. It's not a big deal at all. Some people even consider me super fat, which is hilarious. But, shout out to whoever said that. Shout out to
in the comments. Yeah.
In the comments. Shout out. That was a good one. But my thing is this: women are sensitive about these things because it shows, or it demonstrates some type of insecurity. So, because they're under a different pressure than men are. Their pressure is to be pristine and, to appear a certain way, So, with all that being said, like, if you're asking a woman how much she weighs, you got to expect there's going to be some pushback. You got to expect that.
Yeah, there is going to be some pushback, but if she's calling him to get a high value man, and she's calling him, some of these women actually ask for the ranking. Okay. So if you're calling him with these expectations, then, why wouldn't he ask her for the metrics? Because a lot of high value men are going to judge you based on these metrics. Just like women judge men on the dollar amount that they make, right? How much you make as a man is going to determine your value to a woman. It is what it is. Six figures. So they spend their currency how they want. The women do spend their currency on how they want with the men, and how, well, I shouldn't say spend currency, but they judge men based on their resources. Why can't men base their judgment on a woman's beauty based on our metrics?
Listen, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, because I understand in real time that's how people move. I understand that. I'm an old soul, you know what I mean? So I look at things different, and I get that. But for right now, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna look at somebody, just a woman, for simply how she looked, then you don't know what you get when you open the box. It's like, it's like winning a prize, from a raffle or something. You don't know what's in it. Like, just because the wrapping look good don't mean it ain't a pile of dookie in it. Like, you don't know.
Well, you could say that with a rich guy, right? Just because a guy is
just
rich,
because he got money, don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing.
Right.
This dude could be a scumbag with a whole lot of money, and most of them are.
But let's agree that the world is superficial.
The world is superficial,
and this is just how these are primal. These are primal. This is before even human beings. I know some people don't believe in that. And evolution.
It's kindergarten is what it is.
But not kindergarten. Boom. No, not kindergarten. It's just primal. It's like the alpha male always made it with all the women. Why? Because he's the alpha.
Because he can provide and protect.
He can provide and he can protect. That's what gave him the alpha. So that's what I'm saying. Black is primal. These are primal instincts that humans have. We're never going to. That's why they're level 1, okay, on value, okay. The alpha is going to get as many women as he want, or the most beautiful, whichever one the society allows. If your society allows multiple women, you're gonna get that. But if your society only allows one woman, you're gonna get the best looking one. Okay? And the same thing with the resources. The women are gonna pick the man who got the most resources or has the most security. And resources equal security in a lot of ways. So
listen,
let's stop fighting against nature here.
Hear what
I'm saying.
Listen, you said it's primal.
Yes.
Right? Okay. I said it's kindergarten. Either way, we are grown, right? We're not primitive no more, and we're not children no more. But that's the vibration that I'm getting from this conversation. We are still acting in our childlike mind. We don't know how to rationalize. Okay, he has a lot of money, but that still don't mean he the one for you. You have to qualify him in different aspects of his life. Like, how is his temperament? You know what I mean? Like, can he put logic together to a certain specific outcome that will benefit everybody else? Can he be selfless at some points? Can he build things? Can he get with others and make things happen? Can he have offspring? Can he provide for them? You know what I'm saying? Can he protect? You see what I'm saying? Is he wise? Does he learn from mistakes? There's other aspects that qualify someone as being fully in his path, on his path, in his rhythm.
We're never going to move.
Hold on. Then just having the ability to go out in commerce, get $1, come back and say, see, crown me king because I got $1.
We're never going to move away from our primal instincts, bro. I'm sorry.
No,
okay.
Some of us.
No, most of us. We're never going to move away from our primal instinct.
And this is why we are where we are.
Not necessarily.
This is why.
It's just the law of nature, man. Let's not fight it.
Well,
women want resources, and an alpha male wants what he can get. If that means many women, or if that means the best looking women.
No, you gotta understand something, man. In the animal kingdom, you keep bringing that stuff up. The person who gets all the females ain't necessarily the alpha. Not necessarily. There's a whole bunch of instances where the women, believe it or not, are promiscuous in a lot of these areas based off whatever influence the other animals can present at the time. There's some animals that basically know how to, let's say, build a little hut or whatever, to her liking. But this dude ain't the alpha. He's actually the beta, but he focuses on her, right? The alpha is not focused on her. The alpha is focused on himself because he's more selfish, right? So the beta is more focused on her because that's why they call him the beta, but he's more focused on her. So he actually gets with her. He actually gets with her, right?
Right.
And then once these, animals see that, oh, he could provide that. He's not the alpha, but I like that. So I'm going to get with him too. And then the alpha is sitting there like, wait a minute. The animal ends up, let's say it's a black lion or something, and he's the alpha, and the white lion is the one who can provide this, that, and the third. Man, the baby end up coming out a white lion. The alpha is looking like, that ain't even my baby. You know what I'm saying? I didn't provide that. I didn't provide for her. She's supposed to provide for me. I'm looking at your money, woman. This is what I'm hearing from your conversation. You're valuing women based off being pretty, or not just you, but your audience. They just value them based off being pretty, and a man's supposed to just have money, and that's just the primitive.
Those are the primal. Those are the primal things that we need. You know why men want pretty women? You know why men want pretty women? Because they want pretty kids.
Dude, statistically,
that's why.
If you ugly, you'll have pretty kids, right?
What?
If you ugly, you ain't gonna have no pretty
men.
Kids. I mean, no
men want pretty women because primally and this is a primal instinct. They want pretty kids. That's it.
You saying that's the reason?
It's better. It's better to look at.
All right.
It
don't work out like that in real life.
For the most part, it does.
Look at,
okay. Ugly people breed a lot less.
I can name a bunch of examples. I can bring. Well, that's not true too either, in my opinion. It's a bunch. Look at Jay-Z. Like, if he got money, right? So he got Beyonce.
Did he pick a ugly woman? Did he pick an ugly woman?
But he's ugly.
But did he pick a ugly woman? Because he's the picker of beauty. Did he pick an ugly woman?
Well,
and did she pick a broke man?
I think she picked.
And did she pick a broke man?
Here's the thing that we missing.
No, Black, please just answer the questions.
I'm answering your question
directly. Don't give me a run. Don't move the goalposts. Did he pick a ugly woman, and did she pick a broke man?
No. Now, okay. I'm going to make my point.
Go ahead.
She did the picking. Bottom line, she did the picking.
Why would she pick Jay-Z?
Well, they're in the industry, right?
And
they're in the industry.
A lot of people in the industry.
Okay, what's her stance? What's her musical stance? She picked Jay-Z, right? You're gonna argue she picked him just for money, right? Okay, that may have something to do with it, but
you tell me something else. You tell me another reason.
Let me finish my point before I forget.
Go ahead.
The situation is this: it's a power play on hers because all the women was independent, right?
Power,
right?
huh?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It ain't just
power. How?
He could have less money than he got right now. And matter of fact, when she got with him, he had less money.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't the money; it was the power. And she was after that, in my opinion.
Resources.
She fired her own father. It was a power move. In order to elevate her own career, she made decisions. I'm gonna fire my own pops as my manager. And I'm gonna this, that, the third. Power. It wasn't money. It was a feminist movement. It was a feminist perspective for her to take control, because a lot of people feel like they're not in control of their own lives and careers. And I'm not saying she's right or wrong for that. But what I'm saying is it wasn't simply and only because of his money. Because a person like her can get with somebody 10 times more richer than Jay-Z, because his looks showed him do it. You know that. It was just the right opportunity.
And look, I don't want to.
She did the choosing, not him.
I don't want to say you being disingenuous, man, but you have to admit, actually, Beyonce and Jay-Z is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. These are primal things. She picked Jay-Z for his money. Let's not dance around that. Let's not play games with that.
No,
he picked her for her beauty.
I'm not saying it ain't had nothing. Listen, he picked a whole lot, right? He picked a whole lot.
There's a lot of beautiful women, but yeah, he picked her for that. If she wasn't as beautiful as she was, he would not have married her. Well, he looked at her as her only shot to have decent looking kids. That's why he picked her.
Okay.
It wasn't for her money.
But listen,
it wasn't for her money. He don't need her money. He picked her. It wasn't for what did you say? Her nurturing. He didn't know what her nurturing was. He didn't know because they didn't have kids at that time. My point is this: they picked each other for that level one reason: beauty, money. Period.
That is all vanity. Has always been my perspective on that. We are childish as I don't know what, and how we qualify people for mates. Your perspective from what you keep saying is level one. Yes, they are level one decision makers as far as how they're going to qualify somebody to be a good mate. Now, is it an industry thing? Is it just for entertainment? Like, who knows? But my point is this: it's always in the real world. If you dealing with if you being led by your what you call primitive conscious mind, you're gonna pick people for superficial reasons. You're not gonna be able to qualify these people correctly because you ain't even gonna give them enough time to show you who they really are. And because of that, divorces are through the roof right now. Through the roof. In the 60s, how many divorces was it versus today? Was we more solid as a family and a unit in the 50s and 60s versus today? Because we took more time. We were slower with each other to watch and observe each other's qualities, to qualify somebody to be an actual real mate long term. Now, man, we in sneaky link and I'm talking about we got all these apps and I'm talking about we creeping off and we hitting our next our best friend's girl and we are destroyed and we think from that perspective.
Let me agree with you on this, okay? Should we be doing it different? Should we be basing it off of nurture and provision? Possibly. Decision making, we should be. But you're never going to get away from the nature of human beings. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't agree with this, and I understand. At the end of the day, we are just smart monkeys. We are primates. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with that, but that's really what we are, man. We just
You
smart,
just destroyed
smart.
your whole
No, I
argument,
didn't. No, I didn't.
or
And what I'm saying is you're never going to get away from instincts, okay? The cerebellum, okay? It's going to give you your instincts as a regular animal, okay? And what you're going to look for, what's going to happen is, as that animal, you're going to be interested, depending on what sex you are, either beauty or resources. Okay, if you're a female, you're going to look for a guy with resources. If you're a male, you're going to be looking for a woman with beauty because you want your kids to turn out that way. It
okay,
just
so I
is
get
what it is.
okay,
Should we do
okay.
it
So
another way? I agree, we
let me give you
probably should,
an
but
answer,
we're
man.
never going to do that.
Hold on. Okay, listen. I'm not saying we're not gonna look at people initially. Initially, I'm not saying we're not gonna, as a people, as a whole, we're not gonna look at the opposite. Like, okay, I'm gonna qualify you based off what I see. I'm not saying that's even a bad thing. All I'm saying is, if that is the totality of how you decide who a good quality mate is, and you never get past that stage of just what I initially see, you don't know their last name, you don't know their temperaments, you don't know how they act in certain environments and situations, you don't know if that's beneficial to you or destroying to you. You don't know, because you don't know that person well enough, because you never moved to the stages where you could qualify that person based off of time spent with that person to get to know them in order to become one flesh with them. So my point is this: your whole conversation has been that we are primitive, and you just said we monkeys and we're never gonna get past being monkeys. Okay, well, I'm here to say I categorically disagree that we're just monkeys and we ain't gonna never get past that. And if your audience agrees with you, hey, I got a lot of choice words, right? But this is where I pop my collar, because I just got you to just say everything you needed to say wrong. So I don't really even need to say nothing.
Nothing I said was wrong.
I'm gonna let it stand
Nothing I
right
said
where
was
it is.
nothing I said
and
was
whoever
wrong.
got something crazy to say, listen.
Scientifically, we're in the primate family. It just is what it is.
You saying it in agreement with the fact that you're a monkey, and I know I'm listening to the rebuttal of a monkey.
All right. Well, you can try to downgrade it all you want, but you're the same thing. You're a monkey too. You're
We all monkeys.
You might be a fat monkey with rookie locks. I don't know, but nonetheless, man, that's just is what it is. We'll leave it right there. Shout out to the Godfather KS, man. I think Black did come around on some things, maybe not everything, but he has a very he has a viewpoint that is very very hard on the men, and he's very lenient with the women. He actually has all of the women's faults as being the man's fault, which is
disagree.
Okay.
I said they need to hold themselves accountable too. I said that.
Okay.
They do.
Well, thanks
but
for
I
the
don't
correction.
blame them. Is my point. I don't blame women.
Okay. And for the
blame
record,
men.
and for right. And well, I mean, it's the same thing as what I said.
No,
but
who's driving? It's not their fault. You crash. Whoever's in the driver's seat and crashes, it's their fault. It ain't the passenger's fault that the driver crashed. Are you kidding?
They're not. We're not the drivers anymore, Black. We're hardly in the house. We're hardly in the households of no, because Black women are no. It's not. It's reality. Black women are head of the household right now. What are you talking about? I mean, that's just a fact.
I just disagree with that.
Well, look at the statistics. Black men are not the head of the household. Black men should be head of the households in most households
to be that.
Yeah, but we can't do that if we don't have a cooperative partner. Okay? And especially if they're getting rewarded for us not being there. There was this one young lady.
All that it does has a play in the big picture of things. But what I'm talking about is when we're there, right? It's on us to be there and do what we need to do.
I don't disagree with that, man. But we gotta be there first. We gotta have a partner worth serving for.
I get it. But if you are in a dire situation ever as a man in your life, if you are in a situation that you don't know how you're gonna get out of this situation, there's no way possible you can see your way out of this situation. The whole your wife, your family feels is evident. Man, it's gonna take something. You cannot leave that family. And what I'm speaking to those type brothers that are in that circumstance and feel like leaving as a result. He's embarrassed. He feel like he defeated. There's no way he can work his way out of that. I'm speaking to them brothers right now. You can't make your way out of this. You stay there, you hold it down, you do whatever the hell you got to do to get yourself out the situation.
Right, but the women don't have to do nothing.
I don't blame the women if
I know that is the problem. Let me ask you. This is my last question to you, Black. For all of the guys out there, and I this is me probably just projecting and maybe predicting, or for all of the guys out there who's just going to call you the biggest simp of the year, what would you have to say to those guys right now?
You're a monkey.
What? I'm saying, what would you say to those guys?
I don't give them. I don't give a. Why would I give a primitive thinker? Because solid ones, people who really solid, they're gonna feel me. So I'm not worrying about what cats who looking at me different and got some type of negative energy. I ain't tripping on nothing they saying. You disqualify yourself by disagreeing with me. That's how I look at it. Okay. That's what I say. You disqualified.
Got you. All right. Thanks for joining me, Black. That was pretty dope. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Okay. And hit us in the email, blackmanrankings at gmail.com, if you want to be a part of this discussion, of this panel. And we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.